Flash 29. This might be a bit of swings. It's in. It's in. Go ahead, click on that. We got to do this. Wait, what's my Popeye is not even on?
It's not working. What? Dude, don't kill my fucking.
I had to make a new experiment. Next barely place is for only for the new models don't have yet from the GC level angle one.
All I have on this is like Unbreaking 1. Yeah, all I have on it is Unbreaking 1.
This one was the best one of those ones to wait. I wish I wanted today.
You're in the villager thing, bro. What? Kill my fucking dog. I had like 3 in like one day or something.
notice that a giant serpent has appeared inside the area.
You can kill the fucking baby. I don't care about it.
The worker sees this and going to fight to their death. It turns out that humans were trying to build a natural impact which will also
Yeah, so actually, came in 4 billion more dogs. I shoot you with one arrow and they're all gonna kill you instantly. Yeah, Kingston, get the JJK mod. Yeah, add the JJK mod to it. Yeah, but then I low-key hit the level of giant, and I like overpowered your domain, and then I low-key killed you.
The scientists will also buy the tickets to come here. The humans drag people into
I just do it.
as a giant serpent appears to be mountains. He tries to tell his
Actually,
giant
boulders
boulders that flying towards them the vehicle immediately and barely dodging the rocks as they crash directly.
Oh, that would actually use your cursed energy. So
no one was injured by the accident. He comes outside to see
actually,
what's going
Rika has
and realizes that the vehicle is stuck inside the mud. The humans have no choice but to start pushing the bus. Kai decides to leave the area and explore the forest alongside another stranger.
Oh, what's that, bro? You sound like fucking Scooby-Doo.
But directly into a nearby tree and almost capturing him in the process. Luckily, Kai manages to.
He's like hitting your buildings right now, so they get worse traits.
The people to leave right now. Before their conversation can finish, a man is grabbed onto by the giant tentacle from inside the forest. Post the victim flying across the field. The people realize that they're in terror and immediately begins rushing back inside the bus while being dragged away one by one. Luckily, Xiao manages to close the door just in time and saving everyone inside the vehicle. But the woman quickly realized that her own son is missing. Very soon, the dog launches in and crashes down onto the ground while realizing that the people are hiding inside as it tries furiously to break the walls. Surprisingly, the monster eventually decides to leave the humans. Survivors quickly notice that a larger creature has appeared while surrounding the entire vehicle. This causes the whole bus to be lifted into the air, and it's quickly revealed that they're being grabbed onto by a giant snake. The people try desperately to hang on so they don't fall to their death, but Zhang eventually sees a monstrous creature that's about to devour the entire bus. Luckily, before the people can be killed, the monster hears another roar and immediately drops down the humans onto the knocking out everyone in the process. Sometimes later, Xiao is as it fails to find the boys Bia and the young girl, who decided to join their journey as well. On the other side, Sai is eventually able to make it out from the tree trunk and surviving the fall. He realizes that he has entered into a large cave. What's even worse, the boy quickly finds a large piece of skin that belongs to the giant serpent and his eggs lying on the ground. Before the boy can get out from the area, he begins hearing something coming his way, which forces him to hide immediately. It turns out that it is the cave as well, and the creature begins breaking the eggs inside. Kai sees this and tries to crawl away from the animal, but is eventually discovered by the raptor, which forces him to run from the dinosaur chases the boy closely, destroying all the eggs at the same time, but the creature eventually slips and crashes onto the ground. This allows Kai to hide inside one of the eggshells while the dinosaur continues searching for its prey. The creature is eventually pulled away by the giant serpent, puts the animal inside its mouth as it begins sniffing the human that's hiding behind the eggshells. The monster slowly approaches the boy while Kai is shaking in fear, but the giant serpent has no intention of killing the human. It turns out that the monster has mistaken Kai as one of its children, which allows the boy to get up and run away from the area while the serpent is screaming furiously for the dead babies. Kai eventually manages to get away from the cave as he tries to find his way back to his parents, but is soon attacked by a tree vine as a spike that barely barely misses the boy. It's quickly revealed that Kai is surrounded by massive carnivorous plants, but just before he's killed, the serpent is able to block out the spikes while destroying all the enemies at the same time. This allows the boy that the creature has been injured from the Titan and making has earned a new ally. At the same time, the others towards the mountain's peak alongside Khan, but they quickly see that all the buildings have already been destroyed. This leaves the people completely hopeless because they have no idea how to survive on this monstrous island. What's even worse, the humans quickly begin to hear a terrifying roar as a gigantic cheers in front of everyone. This causes the ground to shake with every step that it takes, while the monster's tail
Just keep it burning.
I know.
on the other side, Shao continues venturing into the forest alongside her friends as they try desperately to look for the woman's son. Surprisingly, the people eventually discovers the skin of the enormous serpent, which means that must be getting closer to the giant creature, who most likely has gotten larger as well. Shao realizes that they're running out of time as she needs to find her son before Boy is killed by the monsters. What they don't realize is that Kai is already in danger as the boy has quickly discovered a massive dinosaur that's eating a giant frog. This gives him no other choice but to slowly back away to avoid being spotted. But luckily, Shao is able to fight with a massive dinosaur that's eating a giant frog. This gives him no other choice but to slowly back away as he tries to avoid being spotted. But luckily, Shao is able
There's
to
another
find
vlog
her
back
just in
in
time as they're finally together once again. However, before the people can slip away from the monster, Zhang
Can your
quickly
legs even get
realizes
that
that
high, man?
something is wrong as he hears that the animal is upon their way. Very soon, the T-Rex goes on top of the humans while trying to sniff out any intruders. Luckily, instead of investigating further, the dinosaur begins turning around and defecates right up to attack them right away. However, the T-Rex eventually catches up behind the humans as it leaps into the air while knocking the people down the stairs. This causes the creature to begin targeting as the dinosaur chases them quickly across the forest and almost killing them in the process. Luckily, the humans are able to evade the creature as they trap the animal behind the rocks, which allows them to escape the area immediately. The woman tries to help her son behind
Yeah, you need to
the
give him
before
that,
trying
bro.
to fix the boys. They realize that they have run into another T-Rex. The monster right away, which forces the humans to run once again, but they eventually become surrounded by the creatures from all sides. Before the people are killed by the vicious dinosaurs, the enemies are knocked away by a massive tail.
At
The
some
giant
point, they're
swords
needed.
appear to save their lives. The people are shocked by what's
You know,
happening
enough
in front of
genetic
their eyes.
mutation.
The giant get up and roars furiously at the giant's thing. The enemies eventually begins charging towards the humans, while the serpent tries defending the people by throwing away the T-Rex. And
There's
pulling
a bunch
away
of
the
nether
vicious
rats.
dinosaur by use allows the humans to quickly escape as they run desperately away
There's
from the area.
a
While
cobblestone
even
at my
more
base
dinosaurs
somewhere.
have come to attack the serpent altogether, the team is eventually able to get away with the remains of countless giants that survived the previous fight and is quickly becoming even larger inside its cave as the people begin to percent while the people pancake at the same. Luckily, just before the people are crushed, Fang is able to move the car and
I
fully
updated
escape
the
from
Rune
the
Slayer. It has
monster's attack.
30K
This
plays.
angers the T-Rex even more as it throws countless
That's
rocks towards the humans, as Fang is able to evade
It
them.
had
just in time.
728.
However, the danger is not over yet as the
That's
giant
close.
creature launches
They
towards
never
the
even
people here while causing the car to pass into the nearby wall. Very soon, the survivors are come for the rescue once again. The massive creature roars furiously towards the T-Rex before charging in and biting the enemy right on the face while giving the people a chance then to finish the kill. Just before the people can, the enemy is knocked away as the giants
So if you get caught
serpent
cheating
has
on
come for
Ross,
the rescue.
and
The
you
massive creature roars furiously towards the T-Rex before charging in and biting the enemy right on the face. while
so
giving
like
the
if you
people
were
a
playing
chance
Moon,
to escape. Very
If
soon,
you're
the
playing
giant
Rust and
dinosaur
there's a
that
cheater
eventually took
that
flight
just
while
found your
passing
hidden
right
stash
towards the
with like
humans.
a bunch
The
of C4,
dinosaur is dropped onto by the snake and thrown across the field.
then
However,
it's a
the
cheat.
T-Rex eventually gains the upper hand as it bites onto the giant serpent while causing the snake tremendous pain. It sees that their
If
foe
somebody
is
has
and
cheats to
quickly
find like
by using the
seconds,
explosive on the ground. Sharon immediately begins putting
should they get
dynamite
banned?
onto the car as she says goodbye to her son before starting the vehicle and heading directly
But
towards
Gage
the
got caught.
battlefield. The woman eventually charges directly towards the giant creatures, but is quickly knocked away by the flying boulders. Kai sees this and refuses to let everyone die, which causes him to rush towards the fire, while causes a huge explosion as a result and sending him flying across the field. This allows the giant serpent to grasp onto the enemy's neck and breaking it immediately, while finally killing the enormous T-Rex. They quickly run towards Kai as they try desperately to wake up the boy, while the giant appears behind the humans and looking over the child as well. Luckily, while Kai's injury has also healed, and the boy promises to remember everything that his giant friend has done. It's also revealed that the old man has decided to venture back onto the island and manages to find even more monsters hiding inside the ground. So what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. This river was been there all day. At least in the mountains of Romsdal in Norway, Tobias is taking his daughter Nora to see the troll feast. The fairy tale says trolls once gathered here for a wedding, but they got so drunk they lost track of time, and because Nora thinks she's too old for fairy tales now, which hooks Tobias to here. Reminds you gotta believe in something to be able to see it. 20 years later, on the Atlantic coast of northwestern Norway, geologists on a fishing expedition with their team. Most of them are ready to give up because they've found nothing in 6 months and funds are running low. But Nora is stubborn and keeps going. Her persistence pays off and she ends up finding a dinosaur skull, for which the team throws celebration. Meanwhile, in the Dover Mountains, a construction group is working on building a new railway.
I think if I made a game called it Brain Rot Killer, Survive the Brain Rot Killer,
for which the team throws celebration. Nothing in 6 months and funds are running low. Nora is stubborn and keeps going. Her persistence pays off and she ends up finding a dinosaur skull, for which the team throws a celebration. Meanwhile, in the Dover Mountains, a construction group is working on building a new railway by digging through the mountains. This has gotten lots of attention from activists that are against such destruction of nature, but their presence is ignored. When the explosives are finally activated to start the tunnel, something deep causes a collapse from which not all workers can run fast enough. This incident and the seismic activity occur immediately detected by the Norwegian Armed Forces, who send a reconnaissance. Sigrid is in charge of managing the cameras on aircrafts and quickly puts together a series of visuals that she shows to her higher-ups, who decide this is big enough to alert contact. On her way to the base, Barrett is involved in damage caused by unknown forces and shown the images that they took, which Barrett's advisor Andreas thinks look like footprints. Barrett finds it amusing but unrealistic and gives Andreas 2 tasks to keep the press away from this information and to find some scientific experts that could help them with this problem. Moments later, a doctor is picking up Nora in the middle of her celebration, asking her to come with her. Barrett finds it amusing but unrealistic and gives Andreas 2 tasks to keep them and to find some scientific experts that could help them with this problem. Moments later, a helicopter is picking up Nora in the middle of her celebration, asking her to come with her to see a matter of national security. Andreas welcomes Nora to the base and takes her to a secret meeting, where Barrett, the most important military leaders, and a few other scientists are discussing the possible reasons behind the incident in the mountains. When Nora presents herself, another interruption comes from Sigrid, who has hacked into the phone of one of the activists and has found live footage of the incident. The destruction is quite disturbing to watch, but before the others can go back to their gas tubes, Nora and Sigrid play the video.
You could have repaired it and stuff.
There's a clearly roaring sound in the background, similar to an animal, and in the shadows among the falling rocks.
Yeah, 3 hours in the end, yeah.
Meanwhile, in Resla, an old married couple wonders what's gotten the dog, who won't stop barking. Suddenly, the entire house shaking, so the couple runs to hide in their basement before everything starts to crumble and the power goes out. Once the shaking stops, the couple comes out to find their house completely destroyed. Although the dog at least is okay. Back in the base, the leaders still refuse to...
Bro, bring the creeper in on purpose. Let it blow up.
And Nora points out that whatever it is, they need to take out.
Okay.
We are all the problem solvers. The ones who say, why not? They take action against it instead of sitting on their butts and arguing for hours. Barrett is impressed by her attitude and makes Nora the official scientific advisor. Then she's asked to go with Andreas to Lesya to check out the latest incident. On the helicopter, she became a paleontologist. So Nora tells him she's loved nature since she was a child, and her kitty love for fairy tales evolved into wanting to look for the real monsters underground. Her mom died when she was 10, and her dad was a professor of ornithologies and folklore. But the older he became, the less he could distinguish between reality. This is why Nora hasn't seen us in years. Andreas confesses he wants to be and is excited about the possibility of this incident having supernatural causes. But Nora cuts him off when they arrive at their destination, shocked by the damage to the landscape. The military is already securing the area, and Nora is welcomed by Captain Christopher, who shows them the tracks that came from across the river and then make it 2 miles south into the mountains before simply stopping. The soldiers did a full sweep of the area, but they found no other clues. Nora asked the old couple some questions, but they didn't get to see much because a giant moving figure was blocking the sun. They did hear something though, a loud howling that sounded like a very sad melody. Afterward, Nora takes a closer look at the damage and notices a very strong smell she decides to call hibernation. She also uses UV light to look for biological traces, but she finds nothing other than earth and stone. Nora asks to be taken to the place where the tracks suddenly stop, and the thermal scanner shows no signs of life, only mountains. Since it's too big to hide or disappear, Nora wonders if it's capable of camouflage. Nora is starting to come up with some theories, but she is still unsure, so she takes Christopher and Andreas to see Tobias, who comes out with a firearm when he sees strangers on his property, a armed soldier. After Nora notices the daughter he hasn't seen in years, Tobias accepts to let them in, although they have to put on some kind of clothes. Tobias' house is filled with paper clips and research that show his obsession with finding a mythical creature known as a troll. Nora asks him talking about all his theories about trolls being real and the witnesses being silenced and asks him to concentrate on the footage she proceeds to show him, explaining she thinks his old work may have some clues. Through all, nobody knows these mountains better than him. However, Tobias thinks this footage proves his troll theory is when Nora points out
No, you go
scientists
to a
have already
village with a
found
bad
troll
omen
DNA
effect
that
that
actually
starts to
existed.
rip.
Tobias reminds her that the Christianization of Norway got rid of all the mythical creatures, and when he was about to was sent to the loony bin. Thinks the people in charge have always known, and fairy tales were written to make trolls look evil and dumb when they're actually pretty smart. Nobody knows these mountains better than her. Believe what she's hearing, but Tobias is too excited for objections and joins the team to continue the investigation. When they arrive at the area where the tracks stop, he immediately notices that the topography is all wrong and doesn't match the maps. He also points out this is like being never again with his daughter, but Nora doesn't want this to be some kind of reconciliation. Suddenly, the smell of hypernature hits their noses and a sky opens as the mountain behind them opens an eye. It turns out goes farther up. The creature is indeed a troll, and its ability to camouflage has allowed him to pretend to be part of the mountain, explaining why the topography was wrong. The creature is indeed a troll, and its ability has allowed him to pretend to
Well,
be
that's a
part of
mod.
the mountain, wrong.
I don't have a mod, but I have a Christmas mod.
Its mighty body and roaring effect. Thus, the team runs back to the helicopter to get away. They still manage to get the troll on camera, though, and when the base gets the transmission, they can't deny the truth any longer. Christopher takes his military camp in order to call the base to inform them of what they've learned. Nora continues to use the word, and when the base gets the transmission, they can't deny the truth any longer. Thus, the team runs back to the helicopter to get away. This is when the sky darkens as the mountain behind them opens an eye. It turns out both father and daughter have been indeed a troll, and its ability to camouflage has allowed him to pretend to be part of the mountain, explaining why the topography was wrong. The troll stands up.
Oh, the Crusaders
but Nora
Beyond
doesn't want this to
Heaven.
be some kind of reconciliation. Suddenly, the smell of hypernature hits their noses and the sky darkens as the mountain behind them opens an eye. It turns out both father and daughter. The creature is indeed a troll, and its ability to camouflage part of the mountain, explaining why the topography was wrong. The creature is indeed a troll, and its ability to camouflage has allowed him to pretend part of the mountain, explaining why the topography was wrong. The troll stands up, showing its mighty body and roaring effect. Thus, the team runs back to the helicopter to get away. They still manage to get the troll on. Base gets the transmission. They can't deny the truth any longer. Christopher takes the group to his military camp in order to call the base and inform them of what they've learned. Nora continues to use the words unknown creature. Tobias interrupts her to tell everyone that it's a troll that got bothered by the construction in the mountains, which Tobias considers a mockery of nature.
The leaders consider him to be crazy and Nora asks for more time. She isn't hurt either. They're worried about the safety of their country. They'll go ahead and prepare for a military operation. Afterward, Nora is furious with her dad for ruining it all and wants to leave. But Tobias changes her. He explains he knows this isn't a fairy tale. This isn't a troll that will simply be pushed back by sunlight. The troll has woken up alone and is scared. Thus weapons will make it even angrier. Not to mention nature always pushes back. Nora accepts he's right and stays. Now it's just convincing Christopher of taking them with him.
I think this one's a regular
But
one.
after some from Nora, he accepts to hide the trio in his helicopter as long as they promise to follow his orders. Night has fallen over Heidel by the time the whole military operation makes it big. While they wait for the troll to appear, Tobias and Nora remember the old fairy tales they used to share during their adventures, and the two of them finally reconcile. The troll shows up a moment later, but when he gets close enough he stops moving, and Tobias is sure that he knows they're there. The soldiers open fire on the troll, ignoring Tobias' warnings that it'll only make him angry, but the bullets and the explosions do nothing and only cause it to attack back, just like Tobias predicted. One begins running away as the troll destroys everything in its path, including the cameras that were transmitting the operation to the main base. It's behind a tree with a wounded soldier, and when they're about to move away, the troll reaches down and grabs the soldier to eat it. Tobias explained probably smelled the blood from the soldier's wounds. Nora, Andreas, and Christopher want to run away, but the troll try a friendly approach. To everyone's shock, the troll actually stops moving and answers Tobias' gentle words with peaceful groans, but unfortunately not all the soldiers got the memo. A truck opens fire on the troll again, and when the creature turns around to counterattack, it accidentally hits Tobias in the process. As the troll walks to her father's side, and Tobias mumbles the words the palace, the king, home, asking his daughter to remember to believe before he dies. When they return to the base, Nora keeps herself busy looking over Tobias' research to forget the pain and look for us. When Andreas and Christopher come to check on her, they inform her they've lost sight of the troll for now, but the army is getting ready for an airstrike. Nora thinks this attack will have the same result as the first one, meaning they need to think outside the box. The fairy tale sunlight, but they've seen this one come out in daylight. The other clue they have is Tobias' mention of how the trolls were destroyed by the Christianization of
Probably
the
help.
You have to have a die.
and need to explain that stories say trolls used to throw boulders at churches when they heard the bells, which means bells are what they need to use. Leaders think this is ridiculous. So thing has worked so far and they need alternatives. Thus Barrett when he gives them permission to carry on the plan. The troll reappears moments later, coming closer to the Hunderfossen family park and causing massive panic among the crowd. As everyone begins running at once to watch the creature, Christopher and Nora show up in a helicopter, guiding a whole hover that is carrying giant bells. They surround the troll with these bells as they make them ring. It turns out to be right. The sound has hurt the troll's ears. However, the troll also doesn't hesitate to attack to defend himself, hitting the helicopters and making them crash. When one is about to fall on top of a little girl, the troll surprisingly grabs the helicopter to save her before it walks away. Since this happened in such a public location, now the whole world knows about the troll and the fact it's making its way to the capital city. From every country covered the incident and phone viral on social media. When the team returns to the base,
When you have to make a Christmas thing here, these parts onto this thing over here. Oh, guys, we're helping on this project today.
In the conference room, the military leaders tell Barrett about some dangerous weapons that haven't been officially approved yet. You know about this, and Andreas points out such weapons shouldn't even be considered, but this only gets him kicked out of the room. Seeing he won't be taken seriously, he decides to quit and rejoin Nora on his way down, telling her because they're back in the city. Moments later, officially announcing the
Love them.
emergency, asking all the citizens to collaborate as their soldiers take over to prepare for the next operation and help them evacuate without issues. Nora, same car, gets stuck in traffic, so Nora uses this time to keep looking at Tobias' research.
Guys, my name is Gates Wallace, and I'm again.
Andreas to comment with the Richard Sinden, the Lord Chamberlain at the Royal Palace. Nora suddenly remembers Tobias mentioning King, Palace, home before his death, and reaches the conclusion they need to go to the Royal Palace. Andreas drives them there.
He was like some things we don't actually think it. It's like reverse psychology.
Sooner or later. Sinden explains he respected
But it's
Tobias,
reverse
even if
psychology.
Tobias hated him. and his stubbornness allowed him to be one of the few people that discovered the secret underneath the mountain. Once upon a time, it was considered good luck to build a palace on top of another king's home, and it turns out this particular palace has been built where the Troll King used to live. Nora and Andreas are taken to a tunnel full of troll bones as Sinding explains that the Christianization of Norway killed everything that went against their faith. They ambushed the royal troll family and only spared one baby to lure the king and did have left dead. Tobias found out about all this and Sinding sent him to the loony bin to guard the secret. He feels bad about that, but still considers it the right thing to do, which makes Nora furious. This isn't though. Nora realized the Troll King is coming and they need to stop him. Her notices her UV light is damaging them. They've seen the troll out during the day, but they haven't seen it under direct sunlight because of the clouds in the mountains. Andreas points out that Canton has a plan, and she calls Christopher to get his help. He will put up a special trap while Nora and Andreas lure the troll to it. Meanwhile, the troll has ready, and once again the military attacks do nothing to it. So Barrett approves the use of the missiles. Sigrid notices the leaders are getting ready to launch those missiles, which means they need to find a way to buy time. Andreas asks Sigrid to try to hack into the army system to stop the launching while Christopher is ringing the alarm system all over the city. This brings friends to his location to help him with the trap. Sinding helps as well, asking the guards to put one of the troll skulls on the biggest truck they have, which Nora and Andreas will drive around the city to lure the troll away from the palace. It takes Sigrid a few tries to get into the system, but once she's in, she immediately stops the missiles, giving Nora and Andreas the time they need. They finally take off and reveal the skull on the back of the truck, which causes the troll to roar in anger and go after them as planned. Nora calls Christopher away, prompting him to offer a motivational speech to his soldiers in order to keep them brave when the monster finally appears. Crazy driving through the streets of Oslo, Nora and Andreas reach the highway only to accidentally lose the skull in the process. The troll stops running to pick it up, letting out a painful breathing groan for its children before it notices its reflection on a building. When it tries to touch the glass, it breaks and the sudden shattering noise startles the troll, causing it to accidentally drop the skull, which breaks into a million pieces.
Are you really hiding it behind like cooked stone?
Is over being the last of its kind. The creature comes after them for revenge, and Nora goes back to the original plan of driving away, dodging all the destruction the troll is causing the best she can. At the base, Sigrid's hacking is discovered.
Well, I actually found it.
So they can restart the system. Seconds later, Nora and Andreas make it to the area with the track. So they jump out of the truck to finish luring the troll right to the center.
He's like Gage when he's like,
The
yeah.
troll tries to step on Nora next, but at that moment, the soldiers activate dozens of UV lights that surround the creature and start burning. The plane with the missiles is coming closer too, but the pilot hesitates when he sees civilians on site. And I'll see if they should abort or not, inspiring Sigrid to punch the idiot that doesn't care about his citizens, and the operation is effectively abort. People at the base watch on the screen how the troll is slowly dying, and Christopher she sings a lullaby, which the troll mother used to put her baby to sleep.
Oh.
30 years later, in Snowy Mountain out of nowhere, a house stands. A mysterious man enters the house. He notices someone is doing research, takes off his mask, and it's Andreas, and sees she is real book about searching Olaf to. She asks him why he is here. He says he is back working for the government to need her help, but she says she won't work for him. He says there is now a new government there, and sees on the wall that she is now restricted places because of her research. But Nora isn't convinced. She says she hasn't been able to finish. He goes back to work and says she will be interested in what they found.
They are in a helicopter and land our station. There she meets with Professor Mahler and Juan Zhao. They say that after the troll attack, the government started researching trolls and much important new information. They show her the mega troll they found. But by seeing the mega troll, she sees many scientists doing their
There's
individual
cobblestone in the rock.
She gets nearer and watches it closely. Professor Mahler says hibernation. They have safeguards in place. A bunch of UV lights are pointed at it in case it wakes up. The head of the operation comes in.
Why are you sending videos of yourself with your hands in cancels?
He replies that they are at a dead end, and the government is about to end their funding. Nora tries to come into their conversation. Marion says she knows all about her heroics in Oslo. She thinks it could be troll. Others say the troll is showing pulse. They are studying its anatomy, unlike anything. Laura says it's nature. Laura wants to go back, but Andreas stops her and takes her upstairs to show her something. She goes with him and meets with Siggy, who is now pregnant. Andreas tells her that they are together now, and it's their baby.
I'm digging for gold in my ass.
The room is filled with old books about the troll, which they have gathered, and among them is the most important, Olaf the Holy's troll manuscript. Siggy says it's from 1030, before Olaf fell in the Battle of Stiklestad. Sadly, it's missing its half part. Nora reads it, will hereby be expelled from this land. Others say they believe there are many more trolls in Nora, and they need to be prepared for any attack like in Oslo. For that, they need to study more. Andreas
Man, you know those green cheese balls from Taco
they
Bell?
came to a dead end. The authorities will shut down the project without any progress, and they need one like her who thinks outside the box. She says it's too much for her. She needs to grasp all of this first.
Yeah.
She asks where the washroom. Siggy tells her the way. She gets out of the room and sneaks into a restricted
It's more like
and
ice.
steps into the elevator. She goes in front of the mega troll's face. She's singing. The security officer comes back to his seat and notices movement on the monitor. Nora thinks it's not working and is going back when the mega troll, the monitor shows its movement.
You don't have to have it
Also
on.
gathered, seeing its movement. Nora is delighted seeing it alive. Professor Mahler orders the light, and they do so. Nora doesn't want to scare it. Andreas tells Siggy she needs to go right now. The guard is ready to push the button upon order. Marion tells him to take his hand away. They can't kill it. They need it alive to study. But the troll is trying to break his chain. So Mahler orders to push the button. But Marion pushes the coffee cup, and it falls on the switch. The system starts to be lights stop working. Andreas screams at Nora to get out of there. She runs back to the troll has freed one hand. Everyone is running from there. The elevator is going down, and Nora straps herself tightly for the impact. The troll, trying to free its hand, collided with the elevator. Nora grabs the elevator hard, and it falls on the ground. Everyone is running from it, asks Marion to take Siggy away, and goes to help Nora. Professor Mahler hides and sees a test rocket on the ground. He grabs it and escapes. The troll is walking towards him, and a professor gets crushed by him. Marion calls them, and they come out of the bunker and see the troll also coming out from the back, destroying the whole place. It leaves towards the jungle.
Nerds.
They all arrive at the military base and meet with Captain Chris. They all get in the car.
Nerds.
Chris tells Nora that he's now in
Those guys in the game said
They
don't
are
need
immediately-
QB or all. Really,
Nora
come on,
and
I'm
Marion
not
are
kidding.
working. Nora tells her living beings. Mary encounters that there is huge potential in studying those things. They have to stop as the Prime Minister and generals come in. They all introduce to each other. The meeting
Just
starts.
kill the gas.
The PM says he felt the troll project was risky and wanted to shut it down, and today proves he was right. Marion says they need to capture the troll and study it, but Nora interjects, saying they can't
Probably
capture
on
Major.
everything.
They get into an argument again, but the Prime Minister stops it and orders his generals to terminate the troll immediately. They have to think about Norwegians' lives first. Nora says they are going to repeat the same mistake they made before. The Prime Minister says that he lost his brother in a helicopter mission. Where someone suggested stopping the troll, he fails. He's not going to repeat the same mistake and tells Major Chris to start the mission immediately. Nora is sitting down and devastated. But Andreas comes and asks about his ride. It's from the previous trip, which turned into stone. She says it's here to remind her that she messed up. Andreas takes out his own rock and says that the fairy tells remind us to learn from our mistakes and fight back. And they enter the operating room where Chris is briefing the soldiers. After the meeting ends, Nora goes to talk to Chris, but even before hearing her, he says no. He is talking to him. Nora comes and introduces herself. Chris says back then she was a scientific advisor, but now she's a civilian, and they can't take her. He is leaving when Nora tells him that he owes this to her dad, but she apologizes immediately for bringing it up. Chris says they lost many good men on that mission, and he has lived with it ever since. She pleads with him, and Chris decides to take her. He shows her the new custom-made helicopter with UV lights attached. And asks if she can.
Trust me.
Chris flirts with her, and so he tells Andreas to stay out of trouble, and they take leave with the choppers. The party is going on. Suddenly, the ground starts shaking, and everyone wonders what's happening. Suddenly, someone takes out the roof from above. It's the Megatroll. At first, people start capturing its photo, but it extends its hands towards them, and everyone starts running. The troll takes some people and starts eating. The soldiers arrive by helicopter, surprised to see that it's eating people, as it's very different from the previous troll. The soldiers turn on the UV lights and engage with the troll. The light is causing damage to them. Nora says they should keep their distance, but they engage again. This time, the troll takes out the speed cable pole, and it collides with their helicopter. Lear's helicopter is hit and is losing control. It hits the helicopter's UV light. Lear says their tail section is damaged, and he says goodbye to them. The helicopter spirals and crashes into the ground. Chris is devastated, but he can't attack Troll anymore as he lost one of his lights. Troll, seeing them not attack, start walking away from him. They are at the crash site.
They
Chris
have
is
a,
wrecked, seeing his friend back.
these are
Nora
his
says it's
one.
surprising that it's attacking
These
The
mother.
previous one was not like that. Marion tells her that she needs to stop humanizing those beasts. The next morning, 4 of them visit the Dogger Mountain Tunnel, where the first troll appeared. Nora takes them to a secret section in the tunnel. They see big spikes there. Nora says it's a hunting pit. According to legends, Olaf kidnapped the troll baby to trap the troll king in the pit. They see symbols carved in the spikes. Nora says that they believe the damage to the troll.
Well, yeah, once you trade with them and you try to break lectern, it won't change the thing.
If he died, they would find his remains. She takes them to a wide open cave. She takes out her rock and knocks it on the ground. Nora tells them not to freak out. A troll comes out from the darkness.
So you can get a better trade for that one. You can get like one for 8 emeralds.
She touches the troll.
Yeah.
The troll starts feeling relaxed. She takes Andreas and asks him to touch the troll. She tells him not to think, but feel. He also starts singing, and the troll is happy.
Yeah, add a gun mod.
Nora says that it's the troll baby and beautiful. Nora tells the troll that they need a big favor from him. In the icy mountains, the mega troll is approaching. Nora on the ground fires up to grab his attention. Others watch them from a distance. The troll is approaching Nora when, from the ice, the baby they roar at each other. The baby troll engages with him. Chris tells the pilot to start the helicopter. The mega stomps on the ground, and that they need a big favor from him. In the icy mountains, the mega troll is approaching. Nora on the ground fires a flare to grab his attention. Others watch them from a distance. The troll is approaching Nora when, from the ice, the baby troll emerges. They roar at each other. The baby troll engages with them. Chris tells the pilot to start the helicopter. Comes on the ground, and the ice it's Nora to come back. They all run the helicopter. Nora falls to the ground. Troll falling into the water.
Because a person need help you, Sarah.
Towards the helicopter as the mega troll follows them. They enter the helicopter and are to sleep before the mega troll.
Now we only need
Nora sees
these ones
they are at the
on.
ambulance base. Nora,
And plus we need that too.
says she became quiet and starts she even convinced him to go outside, but he likes to remain in his cave as he feels safer. Andreas goes to him, and they notice on the map that the mega troll is following the old pilgrimage route, and according to that, its next target is Trondheim. Chris says that the fuel is full and are ready to leave. They showed them their findings. Nora says it's the old capital from where Olaf used to rule the country. Just want revenge. They arrive at Trondheim.
I was trying to edge and I couldn't edge
How
anymore.
far can you go with help today?
What? I'm playing the real football game for all season. And Universe Football is dog shit. Only the good players play football features.
So what happened there today?
Yeah, we played ranked, bro. Shit was so easy. Everybody
yeah.
doesn't even know what they're doing. We literally won like 3 matches, and we were like, so
That's well.
we just go to sleep.
I bet I had to go here.
Oh, fuck.
There's
Oh,
a
like my
190
GPS.
whistle.
Pass me the ball, bro. Yeah, Tanner, can you get on here on your phone and QB for me? Yeah, you should get on QB on your phone.
There's a 190 whistle.
How do you stop me right there for that?
Yes. Oh.
Now we need these ones on there.
I would.
What's Jimmy help me with this? Oh, we got
How do you die with a totem?
phone couple parts with that. Now I need rest of the models over here. Guys, I'm going to my Discord to invite my
Okay.
developer following you. Guys, I'm going to my Discord to invite my developer following you.
The softball field is ready to play in Stonington 24 hours after a broken track caused train cars to go off the track.
Police say the derailment happened Sunday night, and by Monday afternoon, cleanup efforts were complete. Traffic was WCIA 3's Captain Alice Whitney has the story.
That's all over the outfield. I'm here in Stonington where plow green were being cleaned up on Monday morning after 2 train cars toppled off the tracks. This time of year, we're expecting our surprises to come. See the big guy in a red suit?
What?
Stonington assistant police
There's a
chief
trash can right next to your thing, and you you can't even throw it in there.
Yeah,
Look at I'm gonna
nice.
pull your ears off.
Son of mine.
Oh,
You did.
I'm gonna run.
By then,
Was it as serious as some in recent years?
All of a sudden, just the rail just broke, and when it broke, the
oh, he did.
train wheel tipped towards the ball diamond. Another car with it, and then I guess bumped the knuckle, which is a front car.
But the right field taken down. There was a silver lining though.
The Squirrels are glad it happened. I'm sure they'll be out on the ball diamond getting turtles.
Norfolk Southern didn't provide the tracks might be repaired, but most of the mess was cleaned up by Monday afternoon. Reporting here in Stonington, IA3, your local news leader.
Bet you. I'm dead, bro. Yeah, to kill my wolf. I bet you there was like rocks. No. Village, yeah. Unless there's no villagers in the village. I have 3 iron swords on me. Which one does he want? Yeah, none of them mentioned it. Yeah. I have a grilled apple. How would the zombies even get in here? Where you at, Dirk? Where your iron sword back? Oh! Oopsies. Dude.
This holiday season, you can count on high quality with our exclusive lower everyday price. Because at Kroger, quality and low come together. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Red one.
About bedtime.
I
Guess what?
we don't have suit. It's
Everyone make a G. swaps got taken down. It's getting replaced. The swaps got taken down.
Uncompromising curiosity deserves uncompromising quality, crafted without compromise. We mentor you through every step of your acceleration to reach the momentum of the future that you define. Apply free at WGU.
Okay, Hayden. Don't turn it on peaceful. There's a baby zombie on me and I have no food.
Where blast is too powerful and it envelopes
I need
Kong's arm
somebody to
in
go
ice,
sleep, guys. I
causing
need somebody to go sleep, guys.
Kong is too weak to fight, calls him to lead him out of the cave. Dodging another ice beam, Kong manages to run away while the other apes steal his axe. They soon start
Bro, the
chasing
baby
after
zombie
Kong,
almost
who
picked up.
runs fast and releases trap after trap to bring down a bunch of enemies. Eventually, he's cornered against a rock wall and the apes dodge another trap trigger, only for the rocks to fall anyway and crush them. It turns out Suko activated the trap. He is still in pain, so soon move and together they make their way to see the humans, unaware that he is following them. In the meantime, Gia connects with other Iwi teams and finally feels like she belongs. Bernie records everything.
Yeah, when you feel yourself, you like,
Iwi's use of crystals to build their civilization. Veils and the Iwi rush to open the veil. Finding Kong with his wounded arm. This is seen by the enemy ape, who immediately leaves to report to its boss. Scar King gathers an army and leads them while riding Shimo, ready to start an invasion while Suko sees them from afar. In the update,
This can't
Godzilla
happen.
awakens and breaks the
Oh.
ice, showing its new magenta glow. Back to Kong, he's too ground, so Gia tries to tell him they'll take care of him. Trapper scans the injury and announces he's been working on a device called Operation Powerhouse, which he designed to give Kong a boost in case another powerful Titan appeared. He goes back to the destroyed outpost to bring a bunch of pieces and reveals a giant glove that he puts around Kong's injured arm. It takes Kong a moment to get used to it, but soon he regains ability and punches the ground, pleased with the result. At that moment, Suko comes to warn them about Scar King's plans, so Kong immediately jumps Tech's portal to appear in the middle of Egypt, damaging the pyramids and causing people to fall. In Gibraltar, Godzilla hears Kong's roar and jumps into the sea to go find him. At the same time, in Hollow Earth, the Iwi get Gia ready and the girl approaching her hand to activate some gold energy. This wakes up Mothra, who thanks Gia before flying to the surface. Then the Iwi start evacuating the cave. After destroying bridges with his swimming, Godzilla reaches Egypt, where Kong tries to explain the situation. However, Godzilla thinks Kong wants to attack humanity and pushes him against the pyramids. A fight ensues and Kong manages to land some good punches thanks to his mechanic arm. Then he grabs Godzilla's tail, dragging him toward the portal, only for Godzilla to glow and shoot his atomic breath,
Replace my tree
destroying
with
more
netherrack,
pyramids.
bro.
He down and charges again, but this time Mothra appears and pushes him back. Also appears and together with Mothra they use telepathy to finally explain the situation. Godzilla roars to agree to team up. Aline's team follow the Iwi to the area beneath the pyramids, where they pour a red liquid into the water that causes the crystals to move. Hopefully this will create a gravity surge that will hold the evil titans back. At that moment Scar King breaks the veil and comes inside, making Shimo freeze the crystals before they can finish the process. Trapper gets on his aircraft and brings over a bunch of Vertisigns, who attack the ape army with bioelectricity. While the group escapes in Trapper's ship, Shimo shoots ice again to scare the Vertisigns away. Thankfully Godzilla and Kong show up and jump to meet with Scar King and Shimo at the same time the crystals release the surge. The gravity
No, 'cause
causes
Silas
the
killed
titans
him,
to float
remember?
around, but that doesn't stop them from attacking each other whenever they have the chance. Trapper's ship almost gets through, but Mothra comes in to protect them in the portals. When the fight Suko jumps in too, throwing rocks at them to keep them away. Shimo shoots ice at Godzilla and almost freezes him. However, Mothra distracts Godzilla breaks the ice with its magenta charge. Then Mothra catches Trapper's ship and puts it down while Suko kicks an ape guard off to its death. Kong recovers his axe from the enemy and exchanges blows Scar King and his whip, but sadly Kong loses his axe again when a portal opens and drags all the titans to Brazil. The people on the beach immediately run away in panic as the waves freeze and the titans break through the ice. Scar King makes Shimo unleash its ice powers, causing the sky to go black before it starts freezing the city too. Suddenly, Godzilla shoots an attack beam at Shimo at the same time that Kong punches Scar King, causing him to lose a tooth. The fight continues among the fourth place, destroying dozens of buildings. After Scar King tosses a building with his whip, he and Shimo attack Kong together, forced to protect
And she
himself
does
from
anything-
an incoming ice beam.
Anything
At
she
that
does
moment,
to you?
Godzilla finishes
Her.
and shoots at Scar King, who dodges the attack and retaliates with his whip. Godzilla catches it with his mouth and uses it to throw Scar, breaking it, causing the crystal to fall.
Yep, kicks the
While
shit.
Kong continues to be, Godzilla shoots at Scar King again, who jumps to dodge and recover the crystal, only for Godzilla to shoot it out of his hand. Then Godzilla jumps on Shimo to attack it while Kong and Scar King begin fighting to get to the crystal. Suddenly Suko appears with the axe and shatters the crystal, which sends a shockwave that throws all the Titans back. Shimo quickly recovers and realizes it isn't under Scar King's control anymore. When Kong and Godzilla start throwing Scar King around like a tennis ball, Shimo shoots his ice beam and freezes its slaver as revenge. Now Kong can throw him on the ground or him to death while Godzilla uses his breath to up the sky. With the fight finally over, Mothra takes Gia back to the Hollow Earth and the girl confirms she wants to keep living on the surface with Eileen. Mothra repairs the veil, and a tired Godzilla returns to rest at the Coliseum. Kong and
No,
the Apes
Silas,
tribe,
what are
where
you
Kong
playing,
earns the
bro?
gratitude of the slaves and
Estate
becomes their
Grandma's
new leader.
House Obby?
Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos.
Oh,
like
he's
this.
literally playing it with. I see it and I see who he's playing with.
It's from every tire we sell. And beating anyone's
price.
price. Another day getting people back on the road.
Hi, welcome to Prime, the story of the movie, King Kong, from 2005. The year is 1933 and the
I don't
United
know
States
who's
is going
playing.
through a recovery process after the crisis of 1920. Meanwhile, on the other side of New York,
No, I joined. I see
Carl
Silas at the
Denny
top and
tries
I
to
see
convince some
Kennedy
investors
died
to
right
help him
underneath
with the
it.
production of his newest film. He tells that he has found
Yeah.
a map that reveals the existence of
I
an
promise
unexplored
we want
island
to
where
know.
there is a primitive world
Bring
never
that
before seen by
story
modern
about
society.
him.
Carl intends to travel to shoot his film.
Gage
The
is on
investors ask for a movie of this project. When
Hey,
the filmmaker
what
leaves
the
the room,
fuck are you
the men
doing,
talk
buddy?
among themselves and
What
come to
the
the
fuck are
conclusion
you
that the
doing?
best thing to do in this situation is to cancel the film. What they didn't realize is that Carl was listening to the whole conversation behind the door, and before he could be formally notified about the cancellation of his film,